Hey everyone, welcome to Sunday Runday. I'm Brett from Run Queensland, and today I'm joined by 37-year-old Sunshine Coaster, Jake Townsend. Welcome, mate.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, pretty good. How'd you pull up after the weekend Rainbow Beach Marathon?
Pretty tender. I didn't realise it was going to be that brutal, to be honest.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. You might have got a few extra Ks more than other people, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Mate,
Don't charge me for it.
Well, we'll talk about that one. Hey, I just wanted to sort of quickly run over your running career. You might be able to highlight. I've been sort of stalking you a little bit in the last bit, trying to find out about it. I can get you running ultra marathons starting in 2014. So as a 29-year-old, that's pretty young. Do you go before that?
No, that's it. It was the Blackall 50, first ultra ever.
Yeah, and you ran that in 5:49, and I think you got a top 10 finish.
Yeah, that was right. I don't think I really ran much more. Like I did a couple of marathons just for fun, and decided I want to try an ultra. And
how did you go in the marathons?
Not too well back then. I finished them. I used to sit around, I think, 3:30s, 3:40s, I think, in the marathons, and thought I'd have a go at Blackall, thinking it'd be fairly similar to a road marathon. And I ate a lot of humble pie that day.
And that was the first ever Blackall 50 and 100. So
yeah.
So you were in the inaugural event. So that would have been that was probably one of the hottest days I think we've ever run it. I would have thought pretty hot that day.
Yeah. Oh, I remember drinking so much water, and I couldn't stop for hours after it, and thought, what have I done? What have I got myself into here? But yeah, here I am.
Well, and then it gets interesting from there. So then I started to look at your ultra sign up, and I'm like, whoa, he's got some solid times there. You got a May 2018 a 12:25 at the UTA 100, 2019 a 12:08. That got you a top 50 position.
Yeah, just
49. You should have left it at that. People could have guessed, mate. They you've got a 4:56, so you knocked nearly an hour off at the Blackall 50k a few years later.
Yeah, I love that race. That one, particularly, that was probably one of the best races I've ever ran.
You were running solid last year too, and you had the onset of like rhabdo. And from what I know, you've either made the call or the medics made a call with you, and you used your noggin and pulled out at the right time and didn't continue on. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I'm glad that the medics sort of came down at the time I was on the side of the road, because I was so unsure of what to do. I didn't know what was going on, and I was having a good race, and I think I was come through CP4 around the dam, came back to it, and feeling really well. And I thought I'll save myself a little bit, because I know that the last 10, you can cruise down the hill and try and work up it back to CP5 and then run back home. But I was running along, feeling good, just cruising down the hill, trying to gather my thoughts and stay calm. And I remember running up that hill, and what's that hill called? It's the last one into CP5. It goes for a good 5Ks, actually.
It's funny because Gavin, the race director, the other race director, we did a training run there that day before he ran, and he said, "Oh, that hill's not that bad." And then when he did the 100k and he got to that climb, he said, "Oh my God, that climb's that bad." Because I always
that climb eats its prey.
Oh, it's a 2-kilometre hill, mate. The first part of it's 2k, and it is a gradual incline, but that 2k, that's solid, that bit.
Mate, yeah, that really stings, that bit. I've trained there a few times in sessions, and every time it just doesn't get easier.
So
I remember.
Sorry, mate. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mate. And I remember getting up probably 3/4 of the way where it flattens out past those really big power lines.
Yeah.
And you can see either side. And I thought to myself, I need to go to the toilet here. I haven't done it all day. And I remember 40 kilometres ago I needed to go. And I thought, I'll just do that. I'm in a pretty good spot here. And I remember looking down, and there was this big pool of blood. And I looked around and I thought, is that from me? was like, oh shit.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, maybe it's nothing too bad, and started running again. And the pain in the right side of my abdomen was like, I've never felt anything like it before in my life. And stopped again, had to go to the toilet, and I heard the four-wheeler come down with two medics on it, and they said, are you right, mate? I looked down, and they did, and they said, this isn't good. You better jump on with us. And I sort of stood there, and they said, put it this way, it won't be a very happy ending if you finish this race long term. And I thought, no, okay, not worth it. And jumped on with them, and they were really good. They checked me out and made sure that I was fine to get up, and called my wife, and she come and collected me.
I think it's really important too, because there's a lot of times whether you want to push through it as though the world's going to end if you get a DNF or something like that. And I mean, you've literally just about finished that event. I mean, but to make a smart call like that and have that sense to do that, I think is really important. And I hope if anyone's watching this and goes in one of those races, sometimes you've just got to call it, eh?
Oh, definitely, Brent. Like, that was a really hard decision at the time, but standing there looking at it now, it's the best thing I've ever done, because it took me months. I think I was quite drained from a few previous ultras and training methods that I used to employ. And it took me months and months to pretty much gather myself again and start training properly, I guess, and having go at races again.
So when you started ultra running, it's clear that first 50, you were definitely learning. I've heard you speak about how you used to train, but clearly that training got you, I mean, those times at UTA is bloody solid. Like, I mean, anyone would be happy to get those times. I know I would have been. What did the training look like prior? You just mentioned that it's changed since even Blackall, and you're doing things different. Can you sort of point out, because I think a lot of people can pick up tips from you now that they don't have to go and learn themselves. They might be able to instill that into themselves. Is there overtraining in that involved?
Yeah, like it's really hard at the time when you're in the thick of things training, and you feel good and you do a really good training session, and you'll get up the next day and think, I'll do this again. And you'll go outside of your means. Like, it'll feel good, but you actually haven't recovered from the day before, and that fatigue will keep piling up, and one day you'll feel that tired, and you still think that you're capable of running those paces, but it's just putting that much stress and load on your body. And I've got Mark Windsor as well. Mark coaches me now as well.
Yeah.
He's extremely meticulous in the way he plans it, so there's no getting out of it.
Yeah, I think I think having a good coach, especially if you can have a lot of trust in them in it, and especially if you're kind of going wayward with some of your training, they can haul it in, and it's almost like a lot of the training is you overtrain and you don't get to reap the rewards of those training sessions. You've got to have the recovery to let the body adapt. That's the idea of training. And I always feel like when I was coaching track and field, that the race was actually a reflection of how your training went. So, I wonder last year, had you overtrained leading up to it, and your endocrine system's a bit smashed, and that happens. I don't know if that's the case, but sometimes I feel like, I know that's been the case in my for me sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, mate. So I thought we'd talk about the Rainbow Beach on the weekend. I've got to say, though, personally, I read your post about it, and I thought, what a gracious bloke. And I think, well, you can reveal what happened. I mean, I was shattered by it, but I've got to say, when I read your post, I thought, maybe if it had been any other weekend other than when we're all kind of just there celebrating being together and doing an event, maybe there would have been a little bit more said about that. But I was really disappointed, because I know there was 3 of you guys, I think is within about a minute or so, at about the 30K mark, going hammer and tong. You can take it from there.
Yeah, I think that whole weekend was just great anyway. Like, there was just all positive about that weekend. Got time with family, friends. Everyone was able to run that race. We were what were we doing? Yeah, there was 3 of us just trotting along the beach, and I remember just running along thinking, this is great. Like, to the right, you've got all the big waves, and to the left, you've got people in 4-wheel drives. So it's like, it was magnificent. I remember coming out of that single trail onto the beach, and we finished the beach section, and I remember looking at Robin climbing up this hill, and I thought, oh, beautiful, we get to go up to the lighthouse. Because I remember speaking to you about it that morning, thinking I was quite keen to get there and have a look. And we kept running, and I remember just running ahead, and we sort of veered off to a left, and I thought, I don't feel like we're going towards the lighthouse here. And I thought, oh, maybe it loops back up. And I got down to the bottom, and it was pretty clear that I've missed the turn off. But what actually happened, some people decided to remove an arrow and a cross where we actually kept going. Like, when I came back, you could see where the cross was moved. And we got to the bottom. I remember Robin actually turned back around, and then by that time, we're all congregated, and I sort of said, well, we need to go back and do it. Like, if we finish this race, first, second, third, who would feel like they'd done it properly? And I said, I wouldn't. And Dave and Robin said, yeah, me either. So let's go back. And we went up, and you bolted around. And I ended up with about 46 Ks, I think. It was good. Like, after that, the head wasn't in it, and just decided to have a look around. And I tell you what, just like jogging it in, just looking around, like, mate, that is a race. Like, it's beautiful.
It is. So yeah, what we know happened now is that arrow and cross got switched, and also to about 5 marking ribbons. They were found in a pile up the track a bit. So you were supposed to go on what's called the goat track. And
that's it.
I've got to say, you boys that were at the front, and one of the ladies, I think she still ended up winning it. She did, yeah. Yeah, she had to go back as well and complete. But I just thought it was amazing how good you guys were about it. And the other thing that's really interesting, we were looking at the clock, and I turned to someone and said, the leaders have gone missing. Like that, I knew something had happened because the time was wrong, and I knew the people that were in the event. I thought, this is going to be a 3:40, 3:45, something like that. And it's going out there around 4 hours. I'm like, oh, we're in trouble here. But yeah, it's a shame when that happens. And I mean, you see me in the morning marking the track near the top of the stairs for the very reason that they moved them at the start of the race one night,
Yeah, that's incredible. True. Yeah, you're concerned about just that first turn off, and there was like 50 arrows on it, and it happens. Like, I wasn't too concerned about it. Like,
it's a bit disappointing though when you're having a good run though, I've got to say. But I mean, it is nice how you guys handled it, and the weekend was fantastic. I think
definitely. Yeah, we did as well. Like, myself and family and friends. Like, I haven't been away with the family in a long time, and I've actually never been to Rainbow Beach, so it was really good to get up the next day, and we went around exploring and went to the park. Yeah, I can't complain one little bit, to be honest. I enjoyed a nice long run in the end, and no complaints here.
Yeah, oh, well, that's nice. So tell me this, mate. How did you kind of get into running? I listened to a podcast the other day with you because I tried to get a bit of information, and I thought, wow. So there was I know that you were talking about drinking and things like that, and I've got to say to you, I listened to it, I thought that's a really nice podcast that you were talking on, because I gave up drinking like you when I was 25 for very similar reasons. Yeah. So I remember, because I'm still married to Megan, I don't know how, but I'm still married to her. And for me, you could share, I'll just quickly tell you my quick history is, for me, when I drank, there was nothing else. It came first, and that was it. I was 25 when I recognised it. I thought, something not right here. And I remember Megan once saying to me, you need to choose between this and a can of VB. And I'm looking, thinking, not sure. And I thought, shit, there's a problem here. Thank Christ she hasn't said that with running shoes in her, because I don't know about that. But yeah, so I, I haven't had a drink for over 20 years or so. So do you want to quit? Did that come into your running, or was it something that came after your running? Because I know for me, running filled a really lovely void with that, and I know loads of people that have that story. So what was yours with that?
Yeah. Mine was a little more, very, very similar to yours. It was either alcohol or nothing, or family time and no alcohol. Like there was no in between. And I used to drink a lot every night and then show up at the track or show up for a session dusty. And, you'd finish the session and I just got sick of doing that. I got sick of coming home and just going straight to the fridge for a beer and shutting all my family out, and thought, I woke up one morning and I remember feeling dusty as, and I thought to myself, you need to start getting serious with yourself here, Jake. And I messaged my friend Jimmy Morrison, and he just started putting me on the right path for the first steps that day. I have Alex help me a lot these days as well, because I'm still relatively young at it, I guess, and have some pretty itchy moments every now and then. But it's the best thing I've ever done. It's hard. It was very, very hard at the time, but just every single day, you just got to take it as it comes. And there's a lot more to life, I tell you, when you put that stuff down.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, let's face it, it is essential. Well, it appears to be anyway. Look, I think it's a really nice thing to do. I know when I first stopped drinking, it was quite difficult. I was only 25, so it felt like everyone drank. But I've kind of found that's not to be true. There's loads of people that don't. I just had this mental picture: Aussie blokes drink, blah 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 blah. So, I don't think it's true, but it's really nice. I think running ultras fits my mentality great, and the further I go, the better I feel. So, I get more connected.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you get into that hurt locker, you start looking at other areas of your life to keep you going, and you really do start connecting to everything, don't you?
Yeah. I think it's an amazing story. I mean, I think that podcast that you're on, if you want to give it a plug, mate, I think it's worth a listen, because I thought, when's this bloke going to talk about running? And you kind of, you share. I think it takes a lot of courage to share your life, and I think and I really appreciate what you did there, mate, because I kind of felt that it was really important to touch on that, because I think that those photos of you and your family on the beach at Rainbow and your little children there is amazing. And I think it's more important than running. I mean, they all play a level in your life, but like to hear what you were talking about in that podcast is it meant a lot to me to hear that, mate. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, and those two guys, so Jimmy and Darcy, they put that podcast together for running and what else drives people, whether it's their families and stuff. Yeah. And they're actually good friends of mine. And they created a podcast, running your mouth. And I really like their philosophy, what they're going towards.
Oh, it was great fun, mate. I thought it was amazing. Yeah. So, so you're obviously in this year's Blackall 100. It's the biggest field we've ever seen. What are your thoughts around that now this year? What have you learnt from last year that you'll bring into this year? I'm not a big person on time goals. I have times in my mind that I like to do. What about for you? What's the sort of, are we racing it, having fun? Where are you
100% racing it this year.
Yes.
I'm going to give everything I got. Training's a little bit different. I spoke to Mark this morning about it, and he's already mapped pretty much it all out to a race day. Well, I'm pretty sure he's got some thoughts in his head around what it's going to look like, and he's built me a base pretty much all year for something like Blackall. So if it does come up, well, I've got the base there to then spring off his head. This year will be just a little bit more controlled, I hope. I felt that at Rainbow when I ended up out on that beach section, and I just thought, this is a really reward for all the hard work of the year, and I've never felt that really well in that deep into a race. And I'm hoping Blackall is very, very similar. Changed a bit of nutrition, a couple of things I think will change, but it's a big field this year, so.
Yeah, there's over 250 in it already. So there's only about 45 spots left in the 100. So the 50 is about to sell out. I think it's only got about 2 spots today. So it's just about done. We'll hold a few of the 100s and see if we can get a few more that want to come and do that.
Yep. I can't wait for that race.
Mate, I can't wait. I'm chomping at the bit to watch it. I think there'll be a lot of people that haven't raced, so it'll become their A race just by default. I mean, it's usually a really, really strong women's field where they go hammer and tong. The blokes go hammer and tong, but there's always that one fella that's been out usually by roughly an hour. So it'd be interesting to see who comes and how that plays out.
I can't wait to see that actually, because there's some really there's some good runners in there. So to be a part of it's going to be fun.
I think there'll be definitely a chance for a record. Although with the new track, who knows? I suppose, you know. But
yeah, what is that actually? I've been trying to work that bit out.
Oh, there's a little bit more climbing, mate. We didn't want you to get away with it. I'll have to go if you want to go for a slow run. It'll be after this comes out, but I'm going on Saturday morning to run the 100K myself. I'm going to go out there and do it. So if you want to pick me up around Delisha Road, mate, you're welcome to do it, and I'll show you the new bits.
Yeah, I might double check with my wife actually, because I entered her in the 21 yesterday, but she didn't know that until I entered her. So I've got
that sold out too, so everyone's keen. So it should be interesting that the 100 this year. I think it'll be a good field. It'll be right out to the 24 hours too. There'll be those that take all the time to do it, which I love too. I'm awake the whole time, so it's really fun that way.
I don't know what you do.
I think it's interesting too what you were saying with Mark, mate. I remember Matt Shervington. Do you remember him?
Yep. Yeah.
Not many can forget him running down that 100-metre track. Bloody dacks he had on. Far out. I remember him saying once he felt that the coach was the artist and that the runner was the canvas. And if the artist got it right, that he would, you know what I mean? So it was all about trusting in the coach and trusting in the process. And I think when you're doing if you've got a real prescribed process and you're feeling like you're not doing it enough and stuff like that, it's really hard not to trust that.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I put exactly, like, particularly when you're ultra running, and you know, with Mark's experience and what he does for a living, like he knows it backwards, and I find him always trying to pull me back, and like I have full trust in Mark, and whatever he puts down, I just follow it pretty much to a T.
I think the training will be I reckon the race is a reflection of what your training will be like, and it sounds like it's tracking really well, mate. So it looks like it's going to be awesome.
I'm keen to see how it all pans out this time, and finish. I'll be happy to finish it because I think I've entered that race 4 times and finished it twice.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, look at it. It's clear to me that you like running in the cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I can see that down at UTA, those times tell me that was my first thought. I thought, he likes running in cold weather.
Yeah, I think so. I need to adapt to the heat better or something. I don't know.
Pretty warm on Saturday. I thought it was pretty warm at Rainbow.
Yeah. Yeah, it got warm when we got down near the dam, actually. I noticed it a little bit. The dam to the right hand, that's beautiful, that bit. And I did notice it was quite muggy in there. It did heat up when we got onto the beach too.
Have you got any thoughts of going longer?
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
What would be the race? Do I dare ask? Would you go to Western States? That's
been one of my goals for a very, very long time. That's sort of that run and Leadville 100. That basically sparked me to run. I remember coming back from a long run, which I thought at the time was about 18 Ks, and I had YouTube and I just Googled running videos and this Leadville video and come up, and then Western States. I'm like, right, I'm going out tomorrow. I'm going to do this. And, I got to 26 Ks and walked home after it. So I thought, clearly I need to, do a bit more than this.
Have you put in for the lottery?
I did once. I'll have to do it again. I get the emails and I just put in every year. So
how many times have you been in?
Twice so far.
So you'll be on what's that going to be? 2, 4. You'll be on 4 tickets.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, Craig, the race director there, he was saying that they're probably going to do possibly the power of 3 and not 2 anymore. So your tickets will because so that the people that have been in longer just get massive amounts of tickets, to try and get in. So
wouldn't that be good?
So
yeah, that's something that's always driven me, that race. It's
good.
been, I wouldn't say end goal, but it's pretty much there. Like that's up there with that and Comrades, pretty much. So.
Any in Australia you'd have a crack at?
I'm hoping to finish Blackall this year.
What about the longer ones? Any longer ones?
I'd love to do the Kosciuszko.
Oh, Coast to Cosy.
Yeah. Wow. I just like the authenticity of it, where you're awarded a Kubra if you finish it. I love things like that, and it's just I really like which is so good. Like I was pretty disheartened when it was off. I'd really love to have a crack at that one.
Yeah. Okay. So so what I was going to say, mate, is I haven't got too many more questions for you. But what I was going to say, mate, is other than toilet paper, what can't you do without on the trail?
My watch.
Really?
I can't. Yeah, I almost have a nervous breakdown if I don't have my watch on me. It's a real weird one.
You haven't had that Garmin one, maybe, where it shuts itself, where it was all shut down the other
Nah, I haven't worn a Garmin for about 2.5 years.
Yeah, we just got involved with Polar, and I've been wearing that one around their GPS on that's fantastic. So they've just come on board with us, and
how awesome is that?
Yeah. So we're pretty excited. But what are you using at the moment?
I bought a Chorus because of the battery life. My Garmin used to run out all the time, and I've had it for a couple of years now. So
so this Polar's got the long bloody battery life too, which I think's cracking as well. Half the time I never used to start me watching when I do a long run, really long race. It was pointless. I just had me clock because otherwise I'd just run out anyway.
I read that Polar, the collaboration with you guys, and I started researching them. They look good.
Yeah, they're a good watch. I was like, because I've been using other watches, but so I'm really happy. So that's what I'm going to do on Saturday is go and measure the track again and get another GPX file of it because it's changed, obviously, and see where we go with that.
100 Ks. How are you feeling about that?
Pardon, mate?
How are you feeling about the 100 Ks?
Well, I don't know. At my age now, it's sort of a slow and steady, mate. Like I'm a bit past it now, so I just sort of try and hang in there. And the longer the race, usually, hopefully, those younger blokes that have gone faster than me have started slowing down, and my old body just keeps ticking along. So that's the
diesel
way.
Engine.
Pardon?
Diesel engine.
That's
Take us all out at the end.
I have to go long though to do that now, mate. The way you blokes run, bloody, it's pretty to watch, but far out. You could never do that.
It hurts.
So, what with the watch? What are the features that are so important for you? Like, if you can't do without your watch, why is that?
I like to, I guess, know how far I've gone. I don't know. It's a mental thing for me. It never used to be, but it's something that's changed in me. It's like, I want to know how far I've gone and where to conserve energy and where not. Like that's been one of my strategies that really helped me. And sometimes when you're deep into a race, I sometimes think about everything else. But then if I don't have that reminder, I'm like, I'll gas myself and that's the end of the race. And I've done that a few times. So.
Yeah. Do you use heart rate at all? Monitor the heart rate?
To be honest, no.
Yeah, okay.
I've always just gone off relative effort, really.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're gauging it.
Yeah.
So it's basically running by feel.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Do you do track work with it?
With my what?
Track work as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Is that like often or once a week, a couple of times a week?
This year I've done a lot of track work. It used to be nearly almost twice a week, up until probably 2 months ago. And just a few things have changed leading into Blackall now. But yeah, still track work, tempos, hill sessions. I did one with Mark this morning. Obviously I was a few kilometres behind him, but that's another story.
He did a marathon and a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, mate, I suppose that's about our time up anyway for today. So, mate, I look forward to seeing you bloody come across that line, and hopefully I'm able to give you a hug as you cross the line. I might sneak
Oh,
one
this
in.
year,
I
mate.
might sneak one in anyway. I don't know. And hopefully you're up there on the podium, and I can bloody hand you a trophy on the day, or whoever it does it, mate. The next day, one of those bells. So,
Oh, yeah.
you decide what size bell, mate. We'll see. We'll see at the end.
Hard work.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, I'll talk to you soon, and all the best, mate, for your training and lead up to Blackall. We can't wait to see you there, mate. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Brett.
Cheers,
Thanks very
mate.
much, mate.
Bye.
See ya.